Welcome to NBA 2K20. Today I am playing in MyLeague that one of my best friends set up the most of, and we got the new NBA. So we're not your traditional NBA teams. As you can see, my logo sitting here in the background. It is a lake monster. So we changed Minnesota to the Minnesota Lake Monsters. So let's check out some of the other teams. So here's the Minnesota Lake Monsters. There's our logo, designed by one of my friends, and he actually gave us permission. If you want to use one of his logos, he gave permission, and he said I could show you guys, so I'll show you that now. So if you guys go into upload, download, and then download team designs, you can do a search by keyword by pressing Y over here if you're using Xbox controller. I'm on PC, but I have an Xbox controller. But his name is ComeOnHenry, capitalized just like that. We got all 30 of our teams here, so actually you could probably see them, get a little idea of what they are. Might be a little grainy for you, but we have all 30 uploaded here. He gave permission. If you would like to download them, use them in your own, you are free to do so. So we're going to go back and see what the rest of the league looks like. So here's my team. There's the Lake Monsters. And here's some of our players. I'll let you look over these. I'm really bad at naming names. I don't watch the NBA too much, so I'm more of a casual person, but I thought this was a really cool idea. We did a fantasy draft, so it would shake up the rosters and distribute all the good players across the 30 teams. Got all the positions lined up. I didn't personally go through and edit any of these. The computer threw them in the position. It decided their time and all that, but I'll go over that later. My first pick was Pascal Siakam. He's 89 overall. I'm hoping he's gonna bring me the W's. So yeah, I'll let you look over the rest of my team. Next up, we have St. Louis Spirit. So here's the Spirit's team. They got Ben Simmons, 88 overall. That was their first pick. Going down through the list, I'll let you guys take a look at that. Next, we got the Vancouver Ursas. So here's the Ursas team. They got Chris Paul at 87, but that was not their first pick. Their first pick was actually Zion Williams with the 86 overall. But here's their team, so check them out. Alright, next in the Western Conference, we got the New Orleans Rhythm. Honestly, we did a tier ranking with this, and my friend, he really loved this team, and he put them as their A tier. And I put them in the last place of my D tier. So with that tier list, I'll show you at the end so I don't ruin anything with the upcoming logos. And some of the logos are going to be different because we actually updated them, made them cooler. So maybe I'll have to rearrange my tier list. But let's check out the Rhythm's team. They got 287 overalls, Kemba Walker, and Donovan Mitchell. So we're thinking that Donovan Mitchell was the first pick. But either way, 287 overalls, looking pretty good. Up next, we got the Omaha Owls. So here's the Owls team. They got an 87 overall Chris Middleton. Here's the rest of their team. Up next, we got the San Diego Pride. So their number 1 overall pick was Russell Westbrook, 89 overall, at their point guard position. One of my favorite players in real life. I love watching Russell Westbrook play. So here's the rest of their team. Now we got Salt Lake City Rock Slide. They went with the overall first pick, Damian Lillard, with a 94 overall. Let's take a look at the rest of their roster. Coming up right behind them is the Seattle Nighthawks. So their number 1 overall pick was Jimmy Butler with an overall of 88. Let's take a look at the rest of their team. So next we got the Dallas Copperheads. Looking at their starting lineup, they got Derrick Rose with an 84 overall, but he was not their first pick, so we're going to see him right at the end of their roster. So let's take a look. Boom, there he is. Kevin Durant, 96 overall. But why is he at the end? He's got to be injured, so maybe they're going to struggle a little bit not having their number 1 pick. We'll have to see how they do this season. Next, we have the Denver Pioneers. Their number 1 overall pick was Klay Thompson with an overall of 89. Let's take a look at the rest of the roster. Now here's a team that I thought about playing as. They were my close second, maybe third, I don't know. But I love the look of this team. It's the Mesa Scorch. So looking at the roster, you might think, oh, where's their number 1 overall? He's their center. Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, 90 overall. Oh boy. Alright, let's take a look at what they got. Getting closer to the end of the Western Conference here, we got Oklahoma City Twisters. So looking at their lineup, they got their number 1 overall point guard, 85 overall, De'Aaron Fox. Let's take a look at the rest of their team. Up next, we got the Albuquerque Invaders. Taking a look at their team, they got their number 1 overall, Luka Doncic, shooting guard, 96 overall. Let's take a look at who else they got. Up next, we got a logo that I like a lot. Portland Wild. So with their overall number 1 pick, they got Paul George as a shooting guard with a 90 overall. Let's take a look at what they got. And the last team in the Western Conference for the new NBA is San Francisco Tremors. With their number 1 pick, they choose James Harden, 97 overall. They are looking powerful right now. Let's look at who else they got. In the Eastern Conference, we got the DC Liberty. This team is led by none other than ComeOnHenry, the one that designed all these teams for us. Looking at his team, he's got his first pick, Devin Booker, at the shooting guard with an 86 overall. But he said that this might not be his star player. Let's take a look at who that might be. Alright, so we saw everyone. Let's see who we want. He told me that it's going to be Bol Bol at his center. He's going to be his best guy. I'm so excited to see this because Bull Bull, honestly, they're sleeping on him with the 72. I think he's better than a 72 overall in this game. I'm excited to see how he works out for my friend. Following up in the Eastern Conference, we got the Providence Panthers. This is one of the logos that we actually updated to make it look better, so you might see that in the tier list. It's gonna look a little different, but it's better now. Let's take a look at this team. They got some 77 overalls in their lineup, but look at number 4, power forward Giannis Antetokounmpo. No, I can't say his name right, but he's the Greek Freak. 96 overall. Actually, I'm going to try to pronounce your name right here, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Was that better? Not sure. I apologize. I am terrible with names. Let's look at who they got. Up next, we got the Chicago Heist. Alright, looking at their players, John Wall, 86 overall, but no, they chose Kawhi Leonard, 96 overall, as their number 1. John Wall, looking good, but he's not 96, he's 86. So let's look at their team. Up next, we got what should be called the New Jersey Apex. I messed up when I was creating these teams for the upload portion of it. I accidentally changed their town name to East Rutherford, which is where they're located, but we're referring to them as just the New Jersey Apex, not the East Rutherford Apex. That one's on me. Looking at their lineup here, they got DeMar DeRozan with an 86 overall, but not their number 1 pick. Let's see who that was. And there's their number 1 overall pick. They got Bradley Beal, but he's on the bench. He must be hurt too. Hope they can have a good season, missing out on an 88 overall. Next, another team that had their logo updated, and man am I falling in love with them, the Cincinnati Cyborgs. Alright, looking at their lineup, they got some 80 overalls in their starting 5, but the center was their number 1 pick overall, Rudy Gobert, 87 overall. Let's take a look at who they got. Alright, the next logo we got here is the Pittsburgh Condors. Yes, I know it says Pittsburgh Birds, but that's because 2K doesn't like it when you write Condors. They think it's inappropriate for some reason. But we obviously know here it's not inappropriate, so we got the Pittsburgh Condors. Taking a look at their lineup, again, another number 1 overall pick on the bench. What is happening? Let's see who that is. There he is! Oh my gosh, can you believe Kyrie Irving, 91 overall, point guard, on the bench? What is Pittsburgh gonna do? Oh my goodness. Hopefully he's not out for long. Hopefully Pittsburgh can prevail. Up next, we got the Athens Mythos. Another team that I had in my S tier on my tier list. I am excited for this team. Looking at their lineup, got some 80 overalls, looking strong, stronger than some, but their number 1 pick, not Jamal Murray, not Kevin Love, but Nikola Jokic. 91 overall center for the Mythos. Let's take a look at the rest of their team. Next, up in New York, we got the Bronx Rampage. This logo was updated a little bit as well. Looking mean now. Looking at their lineup, you already know 95 overall point guard, Steph Curry. Second half of the Splash Bros, taking it to New York. Coast to coast. Let's see how he does this season. Up next, we got Louisville Mustangs. Well, maybe it's Louisville. Maybe it's Louisville. I don't know. I'm not from there. I'm going with Louisville. We call them the Mustangs. 2K says it's inappropriate, so we gotta call them the Herd. It's just a compromise we gotta take. Louisville Mustangs, show us what you got. Looking at what they got some 70 overalls, they got some 80 overalls, but number one pick that they chose, again a center, DeAndre Ayton. For some reason he's hiding from us. Why won't he load in? Oh my goodness, I don't know, guys. But anyway, maybe he'll be invisible on the court. Maybe he'll be showing off as their number one pick. Let's take a look at their team. Following up, we got the Nashville Anglers. Looking at their team, you see them down there on the number 4 position. They got Anthony Davis, a 96 overall power forward. Let's take a look at who else they got. Up next, Indiana Roadrunners. Looking at their lineup, they got some 80 overalls, some 70 overalls. We've seen this before. You might already have guessed it. Center is going to be their number one pick. But who's their center? Joel Embiid, 91 overall. Great center. Looking forward to seeing how this team does. Let's take a look at the rest of their team. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Tridents. Again, another team that I have in the S tier based on logos. I just love the look of it. I love the colors. Let's see what they got. Looking at their lineup, they got their number one pick at the number one position. 90 overall, Trae Young. Let's see who else they got. Getting down to the bottom of the Eastern Conference, we got the Raleigh Reapers. Another logo that I love. I wanted to be them, but not as much as I wanted to be the Lake Monsters. Let's check out the Reapers. Looking at their roster, number one pick for them, small forward, 86 overall, Brandon Ingram. Let's see who else they got. Next, we got the Richmond Rebels. Looking at their lineup, if you guys were keeping track of the NBA stars that haven't been showing up yet, here he is, the king himself, LeBron James, 97 overall, small forward. Ooh boy, let's see who else they got. Wrapping up the Eastern Conference is the Detroit Motorheads. I love this logo. At first I hated it. You'll see in the tier list because we updated it, changed it. Now it looks super cool. The final lineup we got in the new NBA, number one pick for the Detroit Motorheads, Jason Tatum, 88 overall, power forward. See the rest of their team. So now let's look at the power rankings for all of the new NBA. So according to NBA.com, we haven't seen any games yet. But here's the top 10. Richmond Rebels at number 1. Then we got the Anglers, Panthers, Invaders, Tremors, Pride, Nighthawks, Heist, Roadrunners, and the Tridents. Now, this is before the season even began, just what NBA's thinking. And where did they put me and my friend? Well, number 16, they got the DC Liberty, and number 18, they got the Lake Monsters. Now, according to 2K Sports, they got number 1 Seattle Nighthawks. Again, the Panthers, Invaders, Heist, Tremors, Tridents moving up, Anglers moving down. The Birds, or Condors, the Owls, and then the Wild. Where are we in the lineup? Well, they put the DC Liberty at number 20. And they put me at number 30. Oh my goodness. They're probably just going off of what we look like. Obviously, I'm a person. DC Liberty's a person. We're definitely not 20 and 30 level teams. We're going to be up top. And finally, we got Eric's top choices. Richmond Rebels taking 1. Anglers, Panthers, Invaders, Tremors, Pride, Nighthawks, Heist, Roadrunners, Tridents. Now they're all looking kind of similar. Where are we in Eric's list? We got 16 the DC Liberty and 18 the Lake Monsters. We'll have to show Mr. Eric here that DC and Minnesota can hang. So we're looking at the coach game plan next, seeing who's on the court for how long. I didn't do any of this. I let the computer do the rotations. So here's what the computer has to say, who they think should play, and who should be coming off on the bench, and who should be in the reserve. So looking at our system proficiency, we got a 3.5 star. Not the best, but it's the best I got. Everyone else, 3 stars. Again, 3.5. There's a 2. So we're going with balanced because it's what the computer recommended right away, and I like playing a balanced game. So here we have the tier list that I promised to show you guys. We were going for a bell curve, but there may or may not be some teams that aren't on here yet. Maybe 6 expansion teams or so. But this is what the list looks like so far. My D tier, I got Spirits, Tremors, Motorheads, and Rhythm. I said that I didn't like the Rhythm, and they're down at the bottom. But the Motorheads here, their logo is different, so maybe they should move up. Then C tier, we got the Panthers, Mustangs, Apex, Ursas, Anglers, Invaders, and Owls. As you can tell, the Panthers have also upgraded from this to the winged Panther that you see now. B tier, we got the Rampage. They're a little updated now. Roadrunners, Wild, Copperheads, Pioneers, Rock Slide, and Twisters. A tier, we got the Rebels, the Liberty, Condors, Cyborgs, Pride, and Nighthawks. Again, Cyborg looking a lot better now. Colors changed and everything. Maybe they'll be S tier someday. And then in my S tier, we got the Heist, Mythos, Trident, Scorch, Reapers, and number 1 Lake Monsters. And that's how my friend and I chose who we were going to play as. Let me know what you guys think. And maybe I can put the link in the description for this if you want to build your own. But fair warning, it could ruin the 6 expansion teams that we're planning on adding later on in the next upcoming seasons. Next, I'm going to show you guys some of the designs that we have and the colors and what everything looks like. So we're going to check out my arena. This is the arena that I'm playing in. We got the Lake Monsters logo right in the middle, purple and green. A friend put Twitch on the floor. I don't do Twitch, but it's just something that we wanted to put. We got the @ like a Twitter handle right in front of the bench there, and then we got Minnesota Proud right there, Minnesota on the side, Lake Monsters on the side. Really digging this court. You guys will probably see the other courts as I play games. I'm not really sure how to view them, but let's take a look at the uniforms. So here are the home uniforms. Looking pretty nice. Here are the away uniforms. Looking real good. Just a color flip. Again, I love it. And then the alternate uniforms. Alternate uniforms are probably one of my favorites just because I'm a fan of purple. Probably why I like the Lake Monsters. They looking real nice. I'm really happy how they turned out. Shout out to ComeOnHenry. He's really good at this. So to end this, I guess I'll show you some of the upcoming teams we have. I'm not going to show you the whole calendar, just this first month. Well, I guess the last half of October, last week of October, and all of November. So we got the Invaders away, first game away as the new NBA. Then we got the Rampage, Pioneers, Motorheads, Roadrunners, Spirit, and then we're done. So here's my roster with the simple view. I don't really want to go through all of the detailed view and all the other stuff, but if you guys like seeing the grades of everyone, here they are. If you want to take a look at them, I'll show every team, but I'm not going to talk about any of it, and you can pause it if you'd like. This is just for the people that want to see it. Here's the DC Liberty, my friend. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out. That was the introduction to the new NBA in MyLeague with my best friend on NBA 2K20, developed by Visual Concepts and published by 2K Sports. See ya and have a great day.